Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Dope. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Here, let me turn up the volume on you a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'm chilling. I just woke up a little late, so
Yeah,
sorry
no
about
problem.
that. Okay, cool. All right. Do you have a Slippy file to send me?
Yeah, let me just. It's actually on YouTube, so
Okay, that's fine too.
easier. Yeah.
And can you do maybe a quick introduction for the chat of just like how long you've been playing, maybe where you're from, your tag, goals,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
goals for the game?
Sure. Um, my tag's Suppy. I've been playing for 3 years now. I'm from New Jersey. My goal is just to, I don't know, just to keep improving, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Like,
cool.
yeah, I don't know, just to never stop improving, I guess.
Okay, yeah, no, that's totally fine. Sick to hear. And I see the questions you sent me. I think these are actually pretty good questions. So the more questions you have and like specifics you're looking for, usually that's easiest to talk about.
Yeah, I felt like this uh this game I just felt like completely lost,
Yeah.
which is weird because just like a few days ago when I was playing this matchup, it made so much sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wait. So
I
so
don't know.
wait. So wait. So what do you mean? Like what do you think changed? Like what were you doing something before and then it stopped working or?
Well, before I felt like my intuition was just really sharp. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just knew what to do in the exact moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this game, it felt like my like instincts just weren't there, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it like showed it like exposed to me that my game plan isn't very solid.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Do you want to start just going over the VOD, or do you want to go over those questions that you brought up?
What do you think is better?
No, I mean it's up to you. Like, all right, I'll just briefly touch on all of these, and then we'll see how if they come up during the match.
Okay.
So the first one says dash dancing outside of Marth's range, but still being close enough to whiff punish them swinging. Okay. So you're talking about like his aerials, right?
Hmm.
So usually what you do is Marth will sort of naturally try to swing. Like he's not gonna try to get super in your face to swing. Because if he gets too close and tries to swing at you, he's opening himself up to a lot of risk. Because if at any point you attacked him, your moves are a lot faster, and like at basically he's going to try to use like his strength is his range of his sword, and so
Hmm.
he's going to try to use the range of his sword to hit you rather than just jumping right on top of you. And so a lot of times Marth's sword will hit directly where you are. And so just like a small dash back and then dash in is usually enough to dodge pretty much any of his aerials. Like just like a basic dash back dash in. Like you can kind of trust that it's gonna avoid most of his stuff because he's usually aiming it right at where you are in case you like laser in place or something. So he'll normally like set up a fair or a nair to beat laser in place or to beat you
Hmm.
standing there, and then you just do dash back dash in and just sort of do it like just like have faith that like that will work, and then a lot of times you'll be fine. The problem is that people they want to confirm where Marth is going to be, or they'll see Marth having forward momentum, and they're like scared of that. But basically, if Marth has forward momentum and he's like really forward, like so forward that dashing back like won't do anything to you, or like dashing if you dash back, you're still gonna be within the range of his sword. Then like you should probably have been like attacking into him
Mm.
because he's overcommitting to like his range. He sort of needs to keep you like right at the tip of his sword range at all times. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think then the problem is just with my dash dance because it feels as though I'm dash dancing, but I'm staying in the same spot. You know?
Right. That's so okay. Yeah, yeah. That's we can go over that in the match. We point out an example of that if you see it, and then we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay, and then wait, did you type? Is it 134? Did you delete one of them or?
No, I probably just
Okay, and first of all, and it's like, and third, all right, it says how to make my approaches and timings less predictable and understand why my pressure on Marth's shield isn't working. Okay, that's something we'll have to look at in the VOD. And then it says, what are the best ways to deal with Marth combos? Because I just feel lost once I get touched. Okay, so with Marth has... So basically, if you get hit and by like a good Marth combo, like he tipper up airs you at 40 or something like that, and you're on FD or you can't get to a platform to potentially do like a slide off mix up, you are dead. There is nothing you can do. It doesn't really matter how good you are at the game. You will pretty much die off of a good hit. But you hit Marth really hard also, and you hit Marth hard as Falco out of more situations than he hits you hard. He has like a few situations like grab. He's like because like if Marth down tilts you, he's not going to get a huge punish.
Well, just like I know, because like when I play this matchup well, I can like I feel it. You know.
Yeah. I love how this matchup feels.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you can just tear Marth apart, kind of, you know, and that's why I think Falco wins this matchup personally. I just think it's very like precise to play it, but like it feels like I have so many ways to connect like stray hits into big combos or a kill, and Marth like he'll get like the thing with Marth is that it feels so like baby mode. Like he'll hit you in the air and then he's like, I'm gonna up air, and you're like, isn't there anything I can do? Like the guy is like he's like sitting there drooling and I can't get out of his combo because he's just like up air fair down air, or like up air fair forward smash is like my favorite like dumb Marth combo. But it's like that's just sort of how it is. It's kind of like getting stomp kneed by Falcon. Like they don't need to put in an immense amount of effort to like kill you once they have their good combo. And it's usually better to just sort of accept it that like if Marth gets like a big combo on you and you figure out a way to live, then consider that like a success. Like it doesn't matter like what happens. If you live off one combo, that's really good for you. And there are ways to sort of manipulate Marth's combos. Like it's a little bit complicated, but basically your goal is to sort of DI in a way like sort of the ideal Marth combo on Falco is that Marth does like a bunch of these juggles and tippers you, and you DI the tipper perfectly, and you barely live, and then you get like a side B mix-up coming back or something, and then if you live on the side B mix-up, then you're at 130, and Falco just destroys Marth when Falco is at 130, you know?
Yeah, I've been there, yeah.
So it's like, your goal is kind of like, do anything you can to just let him damage you once he's comboing you. Don't, like Falco is more vulnerable at 0 than he is at 130 to Marth. So, like, if Marth hits you, don't really see it as, like, bad that he's hitting you. It's actually good for you that you're taking damage. Like, once you've already gotten hit, obviously. It's good that you're taking damage. Just try to make him keep building damage, but you're still going to die, like, 85% of the time or more anyway. So, not something I would super worry about. You can... Honestly, for like 99% of practice, if Marth hits you, just start thinking about how to play Falco better. Like, don't worry about, like, surviving. Because trying really, really hard to survive against Marth is almost, like, bad just mentally, because he'll just kill you so often off of everything. But, yeah. So there are ways to kind of manipulate it, but it's still completely in his control, so I wouldn't worry about it too hard. And then, here, let me screen share you. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see what we have here. Okay, so just a quick note on the opening is, like, if you open like this against Marth, these dash dances aren't doing anything. So, dash dances with Falco aren't like dash dances with Marth. Marth wants to dash dance because he wants to threaten that he might... Well, at this range. At this range, Marth will dash dance because he's threatening whether he might take space with his dash dance. But Falco can't, like, he can't very realistically, like, Marth isn't going to read your dash back, and then you dash in instead, and suddenly you're, like, here, you know? Like, that'll happen with Marth, that'll happen with Fox, and then they just kind of get in really far. And so, with Falco, his dash dance is, like, I actually really like his dash dance, because it's not just, like with Fox, you basically just want to be dash dancing at all times, just always dash dancing. But Falco's not really like that. Falco's dash dance serves a purpose, and that is to pretend that you are going to come in with an aerial, or pretend that you are going to take a step back and turn around laser. Those are basically the only two things that Falco's dash dance does, and you want to use it pretty much in those situations where if you're close enough to him to aerial him, then you're saying, okay, I'm gonna laser you, and then you dash in, and then your opponent is like, oh, is he dashing in to down air me? And then there's this mix up where you laser, they're here, you dash in, you jump, they dash back because they see you dash jumping. And then they think that you're gonna approaching aerials. They dash back, and you're approaching laser. And now you have stage. They're shielding backwards a lot of times, and you have like a really good setup.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
So like,
in my mind, I definitely was, because whenever I play every other character, my mind is definitely more in that Fox state where it's like you want to constantly dash dance.
Yeah, as Fox, I tell people, like, are you on the ground? Like, yeah, then why aren't you pressing left and right, you know? But Falco's is very... it has to serve a purpose. Otherwise, you're sort of doing nothing, and there are, like, so... The thing is the reason why this is bad, like, let's say he was just, like, up on top plat, and you're dash dancing here. I'm not gonna say that's bad. You know, because you're just sort of like, oh, and which way am I gonna jump or something like that. So doing that is okay, but you're dash dancing here in the corner, and so if you like, sort of separate yourself from, like, pretend this is more of like a board game, like you're playing like chess or something, or because I've been playing a bunch of chess lately or something like that, or it doesn't matter, but basically don't think of it as like this game where you have to like react really fast. Think of it more just like a positional game, and you're basically, the match starts, you shoot a laser, and then you just stand over here. That's basically what you're doing, and it's like, you don't want to be in the corner, you want to be over here, and so by doing this, you're basically just waiting for Marth to move forward so that you can be cornered and be in a bad spot. And there's not a reason to do this. And you're like, yeah, well, it's risky to go to center, but it's far riskier to stay in the corner. Because here you're doing a mix-up and you're fighting for space that you want, and here you're doing nothing and letting him do whatever he wants.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's definitely something I noticed when I was watching the game, is that I didn't take center very much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's definitely not good for Falco.
Yeah, and it's not even just like corner and center. It's about like every action you take as Falco, specifically. Falco, he can play drawn out interactions, but I think the basis of Falco usually is you want to be always fighting for good positions. Only, like, pretty much every action you do should be fighting towards a good position. And basically the theory behind it is that Falco is really, really hard to play. And if you start messing, and the longer the interactions go, and the more you're dash dance lasering and he's just kind of hanging out, and you're dash dance lasering and he's hanging out, the more likely that you just slightly misspace a laser and die. Whereas, like,
Yes.
whereas, like, if you're like, give me center right now, Marth, and you just come in with a laser right away, he has to like hard read that laser, and if your laser is a little high or your spacing is a little off on your jump, it doesn't really matter as much because like it was unreactable with you doing like an option that really was like perfect to take space here. So like you just, as soon as the match starts, don't be afraid of anyone or anything as Falco. And that doesn't mean to fight in any situation. It means always be fighting for your good spots. Always. Like the match as
you always just want to be in an advantageous, spot.
Yeah, and Falco is just an extremely aggressive character, and that doesn't mean that he is aggressively attacking, but it means that he is always trying to put himself in positions that he wants, like constantly. Like I'm sure you've seen this when you watch Mango Zane. It just feels like it's just like go, get the Marth, murder him, and you're like whoa, and it's like there's so much pressure on Zane from like literally the second the match starts,
Yeah.
And it's like you don't have to be that aggro, but it has to feel very aggro. It has to feel like, because like if I was like, let's say I was doing this lesson for a Marth, and the match starts. Okay, and the match starts, and you drop in laser, and then he immediately goes up to the platform. I'd be like, look, man, you drop, he lasers, and you just gave up center. Now Falco's gonna take center, and you're stuck on the platform, and you didn't get anything out of it. That's like exactly what I would say to the Marth. But if you just dash dance over here, this is fine. And then he just gets to come down and take center.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So look, and then he gets this because you waited. This, you dash dance and you wait too long, so then he has center and he's coming down with the fair, which is exactly what he wants, and then he gets this, and then he down tilts because I don't understand why, but if he had grabbed here, you literally lose your stock and you're down 4-3, and that's sadness. Okay. Ooh, that was actually a really nice dash dance. I wouldn't have done this dash dance here, but like personally, but I think it was actually really good. Dash dancing in the corner like that is actually very good.
I don't know why I did that there.
Yeah, you can, if Marth gives you this much space when he's corner pressuring you, like this, I honestly think full hop is so good here because Marth can't really punish it. Like you're fast enough, you can just full hop out, and like it's not super great, but like it's not like you can full hop out and then if he whiffs you can punish him. Like it's just sort of like a pure escape. But he can't really do a lot. Marth doesn't really like to commit going really high in the air against Falco because you have a lot of options to come down with, and Marth's commitments in the air are like very significant. He doesn't really like that. He likes to be on the ground or close to it where he can dash dance and do landing aerials. Marth doesn't like to do like full hop double jump up air because his up air takes actually forever. The up air is good when you up air and land immediately, and fair too, and nair too, and dare too. His moves are really good right as you're landing, and they're really kind of not that good like to use in the air to catch you. So it's not that it's a bad thing here. You can actually fight pretty well here by lasering, because so like lasering here and then like mixing up a dash dance into a down air or something out of the corner here is not that bad. But I just usually don't even like to play this situation out just because it's so strong. But this was a really, really good bait. If you're going to fight in the corner here, this is just something you did really well. Dash dancing like kind of deep in the corner is really, really good with like, pretty much every character.
Yeah, I like doing that a lot.
Because he just assumes, he's like, man, like what is he really gonna do? Take this little like 2 inches next to the tape, and you're like, yep. And then you get out of it and you shine him, which was perfect. How did you? So you win this situation, but So yeah, this is just something to watch out for. Like, you win this situation with the back air, but I prefer, I
So
guess
what
this
do you
is,
think I should have done after that shine?
yeah, let me see it. So right here, this is probably a waveland up tilt.
Hmm.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
And the issue with this back air, and like, yeah, you went for the shine, and that was okay, but like, Marth flies so far, a lot of times you shine him here, he'll just go up here, and then, like, you're not in a bad spot, like, you can still punish him out of that, but, you know, sometimes it's better to keep the combo going. The problem with this was more that you did this laser, and now he's in range to run off and fair you. And so, like, if Marth is on this platform like this, you usually would want to laser, like, right here. And it looks like a pretty small distance in spacing, but it's the difference between getting run off fair to not getting run off fair. And you still have center, pretty much. So basically, just, like, be aware that, like, you won this, and you ended up in the corner again. And it's like, yeah, you got a little bit of damage, but I don't think it was really worth it to end up dash dancing in the corner completely again. Oh, and I don't know what you're doing here. Are you messing up this? Is this tech skill? Like,
I think that nair was just a mess up, but
no, but like this turnaround after the laser.
let me see.
So you do this turnaround, and then you laser, and you turn around again.
I think that's just a habit of mine.
Okay, yeah, that's not something you really want to do against Marth. Or probably in general. Okay, so let me go to this spot. I don't know if you've seen my lesson with BBB.
I don't think so.
Okay. I might recommend that you watch it after this lesson if you feel like there's more content that you want. But I'm gonna go over like basically the main point against Marth, which is that so dash back, dash in is really, really strong against Marth after you land like a laser like this, and pretty much any time against Marth, dash back, dash in is just like one of the strongest things you can do. So you hit this laser. So actually at this range, I'm not sure. At this range, you might want like another laser like right here, just to sort of close the gap a little bit. Like this is like a little far, but regardless, you can still do the same mix-ups here. So basically the idea of the dash back, dash in, keep in mind this is like a tiny bit far, but like a lot of situations are very similar to this where you're like here instead. And so the idea is basically that if you dash back, dash in, it avoids Marth instantly throwing out a move to counter your approach. So, like, let's say you laser, and then you jump in for the down air, and he up tilts you. That feels awful. And honestly, a lot of times, it'll also catch dash back, dash in from Marth, because you'll laser, and then Marth just immediately dashes back, but he doesn't want to give up all this stage, so he'll dash in again. And then, so if you laser and then you do dash back, dash in, then it'll completely avoid his, like, throwing out random moves, and it'll also catch him if he goes back and goes back in, just by being, like, a timing, like, the virtue of being a timing mix-up.
Yeah, it's like a Suppy thing.
So, at this range, you're, like, a little bit far to do that. I would probably say here you can start with a dash in, and then repeat it. Like, after this, you can do, like, so the idea is the dash back, dash in, but like to gain a little space, you could laser, dash in, and then do the dash back, dash in.
It feels like his dash is so short, though.
So remember, the idea of the dash is not to manipulate the space, it's to manipulate what your opponent sees. So, because Falco has a pretty tiny dash, the idea is always... So, like, what is Falco's number one most basic threat against Marth?
You mean his laser?
Okay, so... Yeah, maybe that's not the perfect question. The laser's not a threat. Like, the laser is, like, a setup for a threat. Like, what is Marth... Like, let's say you're, like, a level 1 Marth, and you're just playing against a Falco. What are you watching out for?
His Nair?
Yeah, well, and Nair. So I'm not sure if you know about the Nair shield poke. Do you know about that?
No.
So basically, the way Marth's shield works, his head kind of pokes out of his shield a little bit, and Falco's short hop is high enough such that if Falco does a short hop and then nairs right at the peak of the short hop, or does a nair and drifts so that the nair hits at the peak, Marth at a full shield, unless he is angling his shield up, will get shield poked by the nair.
I didn't know that.
And this is like very frustrating. And like I knew it was bad, but then the other day, like after learning about it and using it a bunch as Falco, I played Marth against Falco, and it's just infuriating. Like it shield pokes constantly. Even sometimes I'll have like an 80% shield and I'll angle it up, and then Falco will still somehow poke me with nair. So nair is really, really good against Marth in general, and that's just something to keep in mind, is that like, so nair is safer on shield than down air, and it has the potential to shield poke, and a lot of times and it'll work at lower-ish percents if he jumps. So if the Marth is being really jumpy, or he's shielding a lot and stuff like that, you kind of want to switch more to nair than down air. But, so you have this basic approaching aerial. So like, let's say that's the most basic thing that every Marth wants to watch out for. Because let's say your two options here are you nair and you shine him, or you dare and you shine him. So they're basically equivalent. Like there is a mix-up, in there of like down air and nair. But the basic idea is the same. Falco is going to dash in, short hop, and do an aerial on me. And so as a Marth, what are you going to do to avoid that? Your options are, you can preemptively throw out a move, which is oftentimes kind of scary, because by the time you're reacting to Falco down air and you try to jump fair or something, like you're just going to get hit. And a lot of times Marths will actually try to jump to defend themselves from it, and you'll just nair them, and then you get a big combo, nair, up tilt, shine, whatever. So Marth doesn't have, like, Marth's frame data in those cases is just so much worse than Falco. And so most of the time he'll prioritize either shielding and angling his shield up, or he'll do a dash back. Because dash back is Marth's perfect counter to Falco aerialing in. So you're like, I'm going to aerial in. And Marth goes, okay, and he dashes back, and then you aerial in, and he grabs you, and then he kills you. And so that is like the most basic situation that can ever happen. And so, but it's also like your most basic threat. Like that is, in an ideal world, Marth just sits there and lets you down air shine him. And so you want to, everything that both of you are doing in relation to Falco's stuff. And I honestly think that like Falco kind of controls the matchup in a lot of ways because of laser. So most of the time, both of the characters are playing around what Falco can do, more so than what Marth can do. You're not really like, oh, what is Marth going to try? It's more like, what is Marth going to do to counter what I'm doing? So Marth is sort of usually on the back foot against Falco. The only time he's not really is after a power shielded laser. But all you have to do is, after he power shields your laser, take the laser and then immediately dash back. And do that dash, because a lot of times what they'll do is
I've heard Ginger talk about that. Yeah,
is because what they'll do is they'll do power shield. I just forgot the name for a second. They do power shield and then they immediately wave dash in, and so a lot of times after that you just do. You take the laser, dash back, and then you have like that dash back, dash in mix up. Like just basically pretend that you actually did laser them at this range. Like if you're here and they're here. Because that's what's going to happen. You'll laser, they power shield, they wave dash in, the laser hits you, you dash back, and you get this nice dash back, dash in mix up, even though they power shield it. Like they'll think they won the situation. Everyone is wrong about that. It literally does nothing except encourages them to get in a range where you have your strongest mix-ups. It is not very strong. The only reason that it's really good is that it sort of breaks up Falco's rhythm. But if on each laser you're prepared to just power shield it and dash back, dash in or whatever, then like you're fine. So that's just like a small note. But regardless, so Marth is normally trying to dash back to avoid your down air. And what moves do you have that beat Marth's dash back?
Laser, right?
Right, you can approaching laser. And so, and the thing with approaching laser and late aerial is approaching laser...
And just like overshoot, right?
And
just like overshoot.
Well, you're gonna be doing your approaching laser in the exact same jump arc as you do your approaching aerial. And because that's like Falco's dash jump length. And so it's not about... So I get what you're saying where you want to overshoot, but that actually doesn't come up that much against Marth. It comes up a bit in shield pressure, where like if you hit the back of his shield and you think he's gonna roll, then you just jump past him and kind of laser, and then he'll like roll or something like that. But like a lot of times in neutral, it's more about like where Marth is when the laser hits him or whatever. Like this is like the exact position where like the battle is going to happen. You're not trying to laser like here or something like that. You're trying to laser here.
Yeah.
And so it's because your down air, your nair, your aerials hit right here, and your laser is going to be right here too. And so let me find if there's a spot where you get a laser on him and it's a little bit closer. Okay, so right here. Okay. Does he get up into this laser? No, it's this one. Okay, this is perfect. So this is the actual range. This comes up all the time. Okay, so... And like I said, you usually want to dash back, dash in here, just because it avoids him panic up-tilting or panic grabbing or panic anythinging. Panic naring even. So... Mm-hmm. Usually you dash back, just a really quick one, just you're not trying to like dash back to here, just like dash back, dash in. And it seems like it doesn't really do a lot, but it actually really does. So you dash back, dash in, and then you get to read Marth of what is Marth gonna do after that? Is he gonna dash away or is he gonna try to hit me? A lot of times if he tries to hit you, he'll already have whiffed on the dash back. The only way for him to really hit you out of it is to, like, get lasered, stand here and just wait for a split second, and then hit you out of your dash back, dash in. But he has to, like, read that. Like, it's not, like, something he can just, like, you really want to make it so that he has to read you to hit you. You don't really want to make it that he just kind of puts moves in generally good spots and then gets openings on you. And so by using the dash back, dash in, you're avoiding this big swath of options where he just might randomly throw something out. And he's obviously really not feeling... Like, what does really Marth, have here? It feels really bad as Marth. It feels very scary that Falco could just rush in with an aerial right here. And so oftentimes the majority of Marths will dash back here, at which point... The laser is really good because you set up this exact situation. So you laser Marth, Marth dashes back. So you laser and you just immediately dash back. And then Marth will get hit by the laser and he'll dash back. And you dash in and then you laser again right here. So your laser comes out right here. And Marth is now...
Repeat that again?
So basically, Marth is going to dash back and you're going to approaching laser. And your approaching laser will hit him when he's about here. And you'll be right here. So you've basically just taken this exact situation and then moved it to the corner. And so now that Marth is in the corner, he doesn't have dash back anymore. So now it's the same exact mix-up, but he doesn't have anywhere to go to avoid your aerials. So once this exact situation happens, but in the corner... What are Marth's options there?
When he's in the corner?
When this situation exactly happens, but in the corner. Like, just generally, like, what are you thinking Marth is going to try?
Oh, he's probably just going to try to throw it at, like, a fair or something.
Exactly. That is exactly right. He is probably... The chances... Because his only options before were kind of panic option or dash back. And he was like, okay, I'll play it solid, and he dashes back, and now he's out of space. And so now, like, pretty much the only good option Marth has here that doesn't open him up to a lot of pressure, like full hopping, which opens him up to, like, all this sharking, stuff like that. He really doesn't want to do anything else, but he will usually either wait in the corner and like shield. Shielding is really common in the corner here because they're just like, Falco's gonna aerial in, because Falcos do this all the time. They get Marth in the corner and they're like, I got him. Down air time. And they just get shield grab, down throw, down tilted. And they're like, Falco's such a bad character. It's like, no, he's not. Like, that's not the problem. So, and I go over this a lot in the Bobby lesson, which is that once you have Marth in this situation where you laser him in the corner, your goal is then to maintain that tension. And you don't want to just maintain the tension infinitely, but think about it. So, like, let's say Marth has instant fair, and he has up tilt, and he has shield grab, okay? So, let's just say those are, like, his 3 super basic, easy panic options in the corner. Every time he's in the corner and you laser him, there is a chance that you will do laser immediate aerial in, which is what he's trying to beat with these options. And so, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so every single time you laser is a chance for Marth to think you are about to aerial in.
Oh, and that's where the threat is. Yeah.
And so, so you have this threat of every time I laser Marth, Marth has to be like, is this the time? Like, is Falco about to come in with his aerial and pressure me in the corner right now? And so, if you immediately laser down air in or laser nair in, then the Marth gets to be like, okay, he's getting me in the corner, then he lasers me, and then I up tilt, and I up tilt beats Falco's down air, and I up tilt forward smash, and the Falco cries in his chair. And so, but let's say you laser him, and you don't go in immediately, and he up tilts. That is a big win for you, because it's a free aerial in the corner, which is what you want. You wanted the aerial the whole time. And so if he whiffs, and if he whiffs a fair, you get a nair in the corner, or a dare, depending on if he's at knockdown percent, because sometimes that's good to do. Like, he fairs, you dare him, he misses the tech, and you down smash, or something like that. But the nair is usually really good if he jumps, and then if he up tilts or grabs, you just down air him. And so you're giving your opponent chances to guess wrong. And that is, like, a very big theme. When you have an advantage, you don't need to immediately press the advantage. You can, but you don't need to immediately press the advantage, because your opponent knows they are at a disadvantage and needs to read when you are going to try to capitalize on your extra, on your advantage, on your better spacing or whatever.
So, like, if they're holding shield in the corner, where should I be positioned? Like, what's the positioning there?
So if they're in the corner here, you just want this exact situation, because this is the most threatening spot you can be at for your aerials. So if they're here and you're here and they shield, feel free to just laser again, or laser dash back, dash in, laser again in place, just right here. Just you can do laser dash in, dash back, and just to see, like, is Marth gonna freak out? And you will see this so many times. If you just laser and then you dash in, dash back here, or laser dash back, dash in, every single Marth you ever play for the rest of your life, at even Zane or something, like, there's nothing Zane can do to get out of this. This is a bad spot for Marth. Inevitably, Marth will throw out a move or do something dumb or try to full hop or take space here, and you just kill him for it or hit him for it. And so once you are in this spot, you have won the situation in a lot of ways, and you're sort of just trying to get the freest, most risk-free opening you can get. And so, let's say you laser, Marth takes the laser. You laser again, he takes the laser again. Then, so there's this sort of mix-up and read game going on here, but basically, you don't want to make it super obvious that you're going to laser. Every single time you laser Marth, he shouldn't be thinking, I'm in the corner, Falco's just going to laser me forever until I whiff. Because if you keep waiting for his whiff, that's an easy habit to get stuck in. every single laser needs to be a surprise. Like, you have him in the corner, and you're like, here comes the aerial, and he's like, ah, and then you laser, and he's like, oh, and then you're like, here it comes now, this time for sure, and he's like, oh no, and then you laser him again, and it's like, you're sort of like poking at him, like, and you want him to think you're gonna aerial in at all times, and then you go, okay, this time I'm gonna laser you again to see what's gonna happen. And he goes, okay, this time maybe I'll get out of the corner and do something, and then bam, you're in with the down air, like, just instantly, and you're on top of him or the nair. And so you basically you get to choose which beat or which number you go in on, and you just want to make him feel really threatened here. Try to get him to whiff and throw something dumb out, and almost pretty much every Marth on the planet will, because they don't have good options here. It's just a bad spot to be in. It's like saying, like, Falco's rolling out of the corner. It's like, of course Falco's gonna roll out of the corner. He doesn't have a lot of other good options, you know? Like, so Marth is stuck in the corner, and you want to apply this pressure, pretend to aerial him, and then sometimes just actually aerial him. And that is kind of like this whole grounded mix-up that you're playing, like, 100% of the time when you are on the ground. You are playing this mix-up. You are playing the either I'm going to aerial you or I'm going to laser you, and you have to be dealing with that mix-up somehow. And eventually you will get them into the corner where you get to set up with in-place lasers and dash dances, and then eventually burst out of this position into a spot where you can either whiff punish him or pressure him in the corner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we go back from that to right here where this happens, and then you just like, give me the corner. And we can see there's a big difference between, like, theoretically what Falco should be doing and then, like, a lot of times what happens. And this isn't something that, oh, like, you're so dumb for doing this. This is just, it's very easy to forget that game plan if you don't have it as, like, it's very easy to sort of just be trying to space around Marth's moves and end up stuck in these positions, whereas what you really should be doing at all times is the aerial versus laser mix-up.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it feels like also it feels like I'm aiming where they are instead of where they are going to be, you know?
But the thing is, that's the nice thing about Falco, is that you can aim where they are, and then just laser, and then that'll hit where they're going to be.
Like, I don't know, like, that dash attack, I don't know what, like, I didn't see that coming at all.
Let me see. This one?
Yeah, like that dash attack.
Okay. So he's right here. You get this laser. You really gotta make sure you low laser against Marth, just because this.
Yeah.
It's like, because this is the difference between you literally won this situation and murder him versus he gets away for free. And obviously you're not gonna get all of them perfectly, but...
Like, I do the laser here, and then I do the dash back.
Right. But you didn't do anything after it. So this is actually his panic option, but his panic option, like, because I'm not really, well, okay, so panic option is normally when you're trying to defend yourself, and so I don't really want to call this a panic option, but this is like his take laser into do option mix-up. He takes the laser and immediately does this option. And after take laser, you should be prepared for your opponent to immediately do some kind of option. The reason why this dash attack is so bad here is because let's say you did let's say we did the plan we were talking about of you either do, let me see, let's find it. Is it coming up? Did we miss it already? No, it's this. Okay.
Yeah.
So you laser right here. So you dash back. So let's say we were going with our original plan of you dash back, dash in, and then you just pick one of the two. You either pick laser or you pick aerial. Mm-hmm. So if you had chosen a laser here and he does this dash attack, your laser just goes over into the corner, and then you're like right here, and he dash attacked over here, and you just get to set up another laser and then keep playing the game. And if you had dash back, dash in, aerialed here, this hits him.
Mm.
So in neither of those situations you lost, and one of them you won, and none of those situations he won. So for whatever reason right here, he thinks that you're about to laser him perfectly in center stage in your ideal position to fight, and then he thinks you're going to dash away and laser in place. That's what he's reading. That's what this dash attack hits, is dash back to here, turn around, laser. And it's like, there's no world in which Falco is actually wanting to do that here, so I don't understand this dash attack. Like, this is a dash attack that a better player wouldn't do, like, ever. But it's something that's automatically covered by playing the good game plan.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like, if you had dash in here, and you just dash back, dash in down air, this hits him. And if you do the laser, it's just, you just go past him and nothing happens. But because you just But because you just sort of do this, you're like, whoa, that was a weird dash attack, and then you jump away, you're now back in the corner. And yeah, so this is fine. This was good on you by you. You see that he's doing this dumb drift in, and you just laser it, which is correct. So now you end up in this spot, and this is really, really bad for Marth, because the closer Marth is when he when you laser him, the faster the down air and nair come. That makes sense, right? Because you don't have as much travel time. So he, a lot of times, when he's at this range, this is kind of a special range where Marth doesn't have any panic hitboxes. Like, he doesn't have up tilt. He doesn't have fair. All he really has here, his two options are, he can, or I guess three, he can dash forward, he can dash back, or he can shield. That's all he has here. Marth literally has nothing else in this position. And so, once you laser him here, you have a few options. I think laser and then cross-up down air here is actually pretty good, because a lot of times you get behind his shield, and he can't shield grab it. But otherwise, you know, there's situations where you can laser grab here, or you can laser approaching laser, because a lot of times they get lasered here, and they go, oh, I want the center, you know? And so they get lasered here, and you just approaching laser, and if they dash back, then you'll catch them, and you'll repeat the situation in a way that you can maybe capitalize on. Okay, so you did this. This was good. How did he dodge this? I'm very surprised he dodged this. Okay, well... this is kind of like that dash attack, where, like, you do the right option here, or you do a good option here, and he does a really dumb option, because this down tilt makes no sense. And the thing is if somebody's doing bad options and you're doing good options, like, his bad options might work sometimes, but, like, based on probability, this isn't going to work every time or very often. And you also aren't in a bad spot. Like, yeah, okay, I didn't include that Marth can fair and immediately try to down tilt here, but this would have just literally gotten hit by down air and he'd be in a combo right now.
Yeah.
So, like, this is just the same as this dash attack, where it's like, I don't know what he's reading here. This is technically an option.
If you, like, stick to the game plan, it's gonna work out.
Yeah, like, it'll work out. Like, this is just, come on, man. Who gets lasered this distance from Falco and thinks, I'm gonna down tilt the Falco? This is just nonsense. Like, come on, that's actually nonsense. And he gets a grab out of it, and he gets the kill. Yeah. If you're playing against Marth, this will happen, and you'll just be like, I hate this game so much. But if you stick to the game plan, probability will be on your side. Someone making decisions like that is not going to win against your pressure usually, because he literally would have gotten hit with the down air there, like, in any other situation. So, oh, that's so annoying. He got the kill out of that, and he's thinking, yeah, I got him. And it's like, bro, you literally did the worst option I've ever seen, and you got a kill out of it. Okay. Let me see. There's a small thing here. Okay. Yeah, this shine just missed. It's not a big deal. That just happens. Yep. Really good recovery. Oh, okay. And so the thing is, this all happened a bunch against Marth, where you just kind of lose stock somehow for no reason. But the nice thing about Falco is this is a super, super doable comeback. Like, this is not, like, a big thing. Because all you need is, you know, this is, like, basically one combo. You can kill him off this one combo. Or a combo into an edge guard, I should say. Like, let's say right here, you just ran up and you down aired him, and he popped up here. You just down air again, and he's just literally dead, you know? So, like, you can actually kill pretty easily out of positions like this, like, if you just keep playing the game plan. And also the thing is, so these are 2 stocks in a row where you died, like, very quickly. And what Marth wants is he wants all 4 stocks to just drop away like that. But if you're playing really, really well, then there's also a potential that both of these stocks can go to 130 or like 130 plus. And if that happens, this is like even. Like if you can make both these stocks go to 130 plus, this is actually like even for you.
Yeah.
And so don't worry as much about the stocks that drop instantly. Obviously, you want to minimize those as much as possible. But you want to maximize the number of stocks where you go up to a super high %, and a lot of times it'll kind of equalize the fact that he gimps you sometimes. And then, yeah, so this is that situation again where he ends up in the corner. This is great for you. He's shielding. The thing you want to do here is usually you want to laser here. You could have set up a late nair here, but this back air doesn't actually accomplish anything. Your options here were basically mix up into a forward throw, like dash dance grab forward throw, late nair shine grab forward throw, or laser. Those are your options here. You don't or just like laser and dash dance right here because he's shielding. This is not what you want. Stick to that game plan that I mentioned a second ago. It's a fairly simple game plan. Oh my god, what is this guy Neo? Like, what in the world? Look at this. I've never seen this. Marth just walks past Falco grab. Like,
melee dude.
This is insane. And he just walks away like he meant it. Okay, so you have to watch out for this right here. So this is that same spot, remember? That we've been into this a bunch. The thing you have to worry about with the early aerial here is that he's a lot of times going to shield it, and he could have actually shield grabbed this.
Definitely.
So a lot of times, if you're gonna go for the aerial, just delay it enough. I don't know if you know about, like, they call them like Sammy aerials, where you short hop and then you nair and you fast fall before the hitbox is out.
Oh yeah, I saw that video JJ put out on it.
No, those are really, really good. You short hop, and then at the peak of the short hop, you tap A and you press down before the hitbox is out, and you'll hit the nair like right at the bottom of his shield, and you'll get pressure for free. So that is a lot of times what you kind of want to do in these situations. Because, like, yeah, if you had done basically this exact same nair, everything looks the exact same here, but instead of throwing it out here, you jumped, and then you threw it out right here, and then you fast fell, then it would have hit his shield, like, right here, and you'd be in a way better spot. But you get, like, the equivalent situation out of it anyway. Ooh, super good. This was really, really good by you. Jumping up to do this laser, he goes up here, you drop, catching him transferring to this side platform. This is fantastic. keep doing this.
Yeah, that works a lot. I found.
Yeah, that was just. It was the idea was good, and you executed on the shark really well. So, yeah, definitely just keep those up. Okay. Hyper Chad run. It's like run across the whole stage and shine him. That's fine. Sort of a call out, but okay. So you got this. Okay. All right, that was fine. Small tech thing here, just drift in a little bit on these. You don't want to just dare directly in place, because if Marth just holds left, he just happens to hold left here, then the shine will miss. Well, I mean, it does anyway, and then he could have grabbed you here. So just make sure that when you're doing these like this dare on his shield is perfectly good, but just drift in so you're like right on top of him. And if you can, you actually kind of want to be like really on top of him, because if you have a chance, you want to make it ambiguous whether you're going to cross up or not. Kind of like a fighting game.
I see. I see.
So like if you can get like right here, that's pretty nice. But like
Just
if
give
you're
him another thing to think about.
exactly, and if you can't just try to land sort of right here, where if you do like this and you're just in place, this just happens way too often and breaks my heart. Tiny little Falco shine. Okay, and so when you're doing the dash dance like this, and so obviously we know about this whole laser mix-up, but you don't want to be always lasering because it makes you a little open. So sometimes it's okay to do these raw dash dances. The point of these raw dash dances. So remember, let's just go back for a second. What are our dashes doing? What do they threaten?
Like they just threaten different like approach timings, right?
Yeah, they threaten us aerialing in as like the basis of everything. So by doing these, even without the laser, because the laser basically just sets this up, like this. Like if you lasered him, this is basically the same situation you're both gonna be in anyway. And so it's okay to do this dash back, but the thing with this dash back is, so if he did this against me, he would have gotten nared here. The key of this dash back is you're waiting to see, it's the same as the laser mix-up. This dash back is here if Marth throws out an instant move. If he up tilts, if he forward airs, if he nairs, that is what this dash dance is attempting to punish. And so when Marth jumps and does this fair, you need to be really ready to short hop nair. Very ready. So when you do this, and he jumps like this is short hop nair every day of the week. This is a short hop nair Monday, Tuesday, like literally like you need to be ready as soon as you dash back. The purpose of you dashing back, like every time you're dashing back as Falco in this matchup, every dash back should feel like you're dashing and you're looking to see if he does this aerial. And so when you dash back, then you dash in, this would have been a nair, and you would have gotten an opening off of that. And then, so look, so this is kind of that same thing. And like I said, the situations repeat quite a bit in this matchup. Like, it's kind of simple in the sense that, like, it's not simple, but it has a simple basis. And the reason why it has a simple basis is because Marth doesn't have a lot he can actually do to prevent the basis from happening. So, like, obviously a matchup where you have a nice, simple game plan is best for you. And Marth doesn't have a way to actually stop that game plan, and that's why it kind of ends up sort of, like, not repetitive, because there's nuance in it, but, like, kind of simple. So, this spot, does this look familiar?
Yeah.
This is that same situation. And so this dash back here is good. He does his panic option. He thinks that you were going to short hop aerial in, so he does his panic back air. But instead, you dash wave dash away. But if you had just done a dash back here, you would have been able to...
It would have worked, yeah.
So if you had dashed back to here, you might not have actually been able to get in with the nair here because of the spacing. Like, let's see it. So you do this. You dash back. Yeah, so
I just did a shorter dash, I think.
Right, but let's just say you did a little bit of a longer dash, because telling yourself that you should have done a 2-frame shorter dash or whatever, that's being a little harsh. Like, you're not going to be perfect in Melee, and a lot of times it's more about adapting your clean game plan to what actually happens. Like, things get down and dirty pretty fast in Melee. Like, things are... It doesn't get, like... You don't often end up with these, like, surgical perfect situations, you know? So, like, let's say you do dash a little far here. So you dash. I'm just going to wait for the first frame of jump squat. Okay. So you dash to here. So it's a little far. And obviously, maybe, you can optimize by doing it a little bit shorter. But, like, that'll be something that sort of comes with practice. Let's say you just end up here, and he's doing the back air, and you're right here. What you can do here is you can jump in, laser shine this, or laser up tilt. Like, you can just jump in, laser right here, jump up, shine, and you can get in before anything comes out.
Why do that instead of, like, nair or something?
I'm saying if you are far enough away where your nair wouldn't really hit.
Okay.
Then you can jump in laser and then jump shyness. If you can, you want to nair it. And then, yeah, so this is that same spot again, where after this happens, you end up in this position.
And he's just waiting.
And he's just waiting to shield. And, like, notice he power shielded this. He was just expecting this early aerial. This is, like, another spot where, like, if you had just done a laser here... so the thing is, you have laser or late aerial. And so basically your options are, if you think he's going to do an attack immediately here, this is when you dash back, dash in. If you think he's going to be more passive, feel free to just laser here or throw out an aerial. And if you had done either one, like a late aerial, either one of those would have beaten this. So basically, he just hard read the fact that you were going to aerial in. And so, like, yeah, this is just going to happen. Like, I'm not saying this should never happen. But, like, ideally, if you think that he's going to be kind of passive, like, it looked like you kind of were very confident he wasn't going to, like, swing at you. So if you think he's going to be passive, you either want to do the late aerial or the laser here.
I see.
Because you haven't really set up, like, that pressure situation. Okay. What does he do here? So you get this laser. So, yeah, so this is sort of... he just wins the mix-up here. I just want to point out that if in this spot, if you had happened, I'm not saying you should have done it, but in this exact position, if you do dash back, dash in, down air, it hits his nair landing. Like if you did dash back, and then right here you just do a dash in aerial, it'll hit his nair right as he lands. Just something to keep in mind, that you're not forced to do this laser here, but obviously it was a mix-up and it's okay to do this laser here. So you hit with this laser, we already went over this, this is when Marth is up and really close. He probably wants to dash back, he might want to throw out like a super fast move here, so you can kind of just mix it up and see what happens. So you don't do a dash dance, instead you just sort of jump up for the aerial, but this is a really bad aerial because without the dash, you don't get to threaten enough space. So, like, if he's here, and he dashes back, this just loses to the dash back.
Yeah, I see.
So, that's why, remember, Falco's dashes, they serve a very specific purpose of threatening the dash-in aerial and laser. And that is, like, what they're there for, and that's why you should be using them.
Yeah, I definitely was thinking of it more in the Fox sense.
So whenever you're going to do like an aerial, aerials in place like this are pretty bad against Marth. If you're going to do an aerial kind of like this, you can do a fade back aerial. Like you can dash in and then do a fade back aerial, or like dash in short hop backwards aerial, or dash in like short hop fade back aerial. Like those are better here. Without doing the dash here, this is just it's too easy for him. Without doing the dash here. So he just dashes back. He literally just wasn't paying attention. He didn't even see you dash, and he went for this. But it still gives him like a great position. So when you're right here, and this is kind of awkward, but you're like right here. This should look familiar. So yeah, this wave dash into the corner. This is like a little crazy because like, yeah, it could dodge him instantly fairing or something like that. But if you really thought he was gonna instant fair here, you could just like shield and like roll or something like that. So like, I think it's super important to like maintain an active mindset where like you're here. This certainly looks like the dash back, dash in, laser versus down air versus nair mix up to me, you know? And so you can actually just continue doing this here. And if you feel a little awkward in the corner, being too aggressive, like you feel like he just keeps catching you, that's when you sort of turn on a couple lasers in place. Like laser in place, dash forward, dash back, laser in place, dash forward.
Yeah.
That's when you sort of turn those up a little bit and protect yourself in the corner before you just... And then you get to decide like when you start doing...
Just ugly.
And then this is just Marth. And yeah, there's like slide off DIs that you can do. I'm not sure what exactly the percentage is on Falco, but you can try for slide off DI. Basically, you hold your C stick down and slightly in, and then you hold your control stick to the left.
Yeah, I think I just kind of gave up.
That's fine. Like I said, that's literally fine. I actually am very supportive of this DI you're doing, where you just kind of went straight up here. He gets this kind of wacky tipper and kills you, and it's just kind of like, okay, whatever, Marth. But Okay, I think that we sort of went over some pretty good ways to deal with Marth and sort of stay active in the matchup and how to think about, a more proactive game plan of the laser and the down air and using the dashes specifically to threaten those options rather than just dash dancing for like taking or removing space. And there are a couple situations where you can dash in to sort of take a little bit of space, but usually the dashes are there to threaten the jump aerials.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, do you have any extra questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have any extra questions that come up later or anything like that, feel free to hit me up about it, and I can answer you. Otherwise, good luck with the matchup, and I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, thanks, dude. You
Peace.
too.